guys, it's Kirsten with March Party of 6. I hope everyone is doing amazing, and I just wanted to touch base and check in and give you this week's podcast. And I decided to do this week's podcast on stay-at-home momming. I have always been a nonstop worker. I've always been someone who works 6-7 days a week, sometimes 2 jobs at a time. I am a hustler. When I need money or when I have a goal, I always crush it. And I've just always been one to, support myself and never rely on anyone to pay my bills. So a couple years back, I was in a job that I hated. It was one of those jobs that you went to, you literally sat down at a desk, you talked with different customers, you did all kinds of data and spreadsheets and calculations and ordering parts and everything else. And it just was literally the most boring job and very toxic as well. I sat in front of a computer screen for 8 hours and I listened to people complain and just nitpick, and it was just, it was awful. So my husband had picked up a part-time job, and I, aside from his full-time job, and, I kind of presented the idea of, hey, do you think that it would be okay if I just, maybe waitress part-time and then stay home with the kids, give me a little break and get me out of a job that I despise? And, to my surprise, he was really excited about that. He was like, you've worked hard, you've been doing this for such a long time, maybe it's time for you to be able to, have some time with the kids and be home and be more present and, not have to work around the clock. So I left my day job, and I remember giving my notice, and I sent, a formal email out to the CEO, and I copied my direct supervisors. And the CEO gave me a hard time and said, well, you could have given us more of a notice, and, we have a lot of stuff going on, getting this new software out. And in my mind, I'm thinking, I don't have to give you any kind of notice. I gave you 2 weeks, and that should be enough. Seriously, you didn't give me a notice when you said you weren't going to give me my bonus and you weren't going to give me a raise because numbers were down. So I really don't feel that I need to give you anything more than 2 weeks of, hey, I'm going to change my my job and I'm going to be at home with my children. So I left my job, and it was the best feeling in the world. It also ended some of my relationships, some of my friendships. I think when we become parents and you have friends that don't have kids and don't have responsibilities, your relationships change. And I definitely lost some friends, and I can't say that I regret it, because those friends aren't meant to be your friends. I feel that anyone that doesn't get that your children come first and that your children are the main priority of your life, you don't need them in your life. So when I left my job, I still stayed working part-time waitressing, but it still allowed me to be home basically Monday through Friday with my children and be able to go to school activities, do volunteering in the classroom, do more things at home, cook more, just do more, stay-at-home mom things. Anybody that knows me knows I'm not that great of a cook. It is not my favorite thing to do, but I definitely, when I want to do something or I want to make something, I get into the groove. So my husband was definitely excited for me to cook more for him and make more meals for him, as opposed to, him having to fend for himself when I'm, work 24/7. So being a stay-at-home mom, I used to think that it was the most outrageous job, and why would anyone want to stay at home? Why wouldn't someone want to work and support their family and make money and, do those things? Now, coming from someone who worked around the clock and always had, money on hand and always was just, when can I pick up that next shift? It was a little tough for me to not have that, that money at my dispense and be able to do all the things I wanted to do. But I really, was excited to just be more present. And I basically always thought stay-at-home moms didn't really do much. I thought that being a stay-at-home mom meant, you stay at home and you cook and you pick up after the kids and you relax and and you go about your day. But being a stay-at-home mom is probably more work than being a working mom. And the reason I say that is because you wake up with the kids and you're with them all day, every day, nonstop. And it is the toughest job that you will ever have, but I think the most rewarding. I have always been somebody who is able to juggle many of things at once. And having multiple children, different ages, different activities, even different schools, I think I did a pretty good job at keeping up with all of that. I laugh because a lot of people that work full-time and are parents don't think that stay-at-home moms or stay-at-home parents do as much as the full-time workers. And, I don't think that they realize that going to work and just focusing on the task at hand, focusing on your job during the day is a lot less stressful than being responsible for multiple people and multiple things going on at your house. Getting your kids ready for school. Hell, just getting my kids dressed in the morning is enough to make me want to drink my face off because literally I have an 8, 6, 4, and a 3-month-old, and my 8-year-old doesn't like jeans. She thinks they're the worst things ever. My 6-year-old wants to wear capri leggings everywhere she goes, even when it's 10 degrees outside. They are the most difficult children to dress. I swear I cannot wait until we get the opportunity for them to have uniforms or some kind of set outfit because it's going to make my life that much easier. So just getting the kids ready in the morning, like I said, it is enough to drive you mad. So you're getting them ready. You are getting them breakfast. You're making sure all their teeth are brushed. And I don't know about any of you moms out there. My kids hate brushing their teeth. It's like pulling their teeth just to get them to clean them, and then, you're trying to make sure they have all their stuff ready for school, and you're trying to make sure that, they have all of, the jacket, gloves, hat, warm, all that stuff. So by the time your kids leave to go to school and you have your other kids at home, like I have my 4-year-old and the baby, you're ready for a nap, and it's only 8:30. So it's just interesting because people that don't think what we do during the day is not as much work as it is going to work. You have no idea. My husband works around the clock so I can be home with the kids, and I'm very grateful for that. But sometimes I'm very jealous because when he gets to leave the house, he goes to work, he has a job, and he comes home and he knows things are going to be taken care of. Sometimes that is, I want to do what he's doing because then I can leave the house and not have to worry about what's going on in the house. But as moms, I think we never stop worrying about what's going on wherever our kids are, whether they're with our spouses, they're at school, they're with friends, wherever. When we found out that we were expecting our 4th baby, I went back to working full-time at the restaurant, and I was working a lot of hours while pregnant, and, it was good for me to be on my feet. It was good for me to be active. It was good for me to be moving around. And I was making great money. The two girls were in school and my son was in preschool, part-time. And then, at home with my husband, and it worked out for us. And after we had our fourth, I went back to work, just working part-time again, and I plan on doing that until she is at least, through the summer, closer to a year old, so I don't miss those important moments, like all those milestones. From working so much in the past, I've missed the first walking, the first crawling, the rolling over, those things, because someone else has gotten to witness that, like a babysitter or, my husband, because I work, I'm away during the day, or even my parents. So I really, with this being our last child, I really want to be able to see all those things and just absorb it as much as possible, because it goes so fast. So again, I just wanted to talk about being a stay-at-home mom versus a working mom, because I think all moms are badass and all moms are doing the best that they can. But I think that moms in general have to give all moms credit that are doing things, whether they're the Betty Crocker staying at home, baking fresh cookies and fresh bread and doing all the organic things and doing this and doing that, and making their own baby food and nursing their kids till they're 10, or all that stuff. Or that they're the mom that goes, wants to formula feed, doesn't want to do the breastfeeding, buys the baby food at the store, thinks, and does everything that way. No matter what mom you are, you're still kicking ass, you're still doing a good job, and you're still doing, everything that you can, and that's all that matters. While we're on the topic of moms, I kind of want to get into another topic. I am on Facebook, and I also am on these different mom sites, and I just want to take the time to say that some of these mom sites make me freaking sick. I have never, in all of my life, been as bashed as I've been on these sites for speaking up and having a difference of opinion than other moms have. I actually had I posted on a mom site about single moms and child support. And basically, I was talking about mothers that are getting child support and are using the child support for other means than raising their children and supporting their children. And also mothers that, because their exes aren't in the picture, are using that against them when it comes to their kids. And I was using it because I have multiple male friends that are in these positions with their exes and being taken advantage of because they're not in a relationship with their exes and their children's moms. And I was attacked left and right by everyone and their moms, saying, how dare I make assumptions and judgments, and I don't know what it's like to be a single mom. And even one girl made a comment about where I work and coming to my work, and you have to laugh because anything you put on social media can always be taken out of context. But I was very specific in why I was posting this, and I was not trying to attack anybody, and I was not trying to upset anybody. I was just stating that it is sickening when women do those things, because you're almost giving the women that are out there doing a good job and the women that are out there taking care of their kids and working and doing everything they can to support their families, you're making them look bad because other women want to sit around and use and abuse the system and take advantage of, men that aren't with them, and they use them to their advantage. It's in today's society, I think that I'm seeing a lot more women that aren't taking care of their kids and are deadbeat moms as opposed to deadbeat dads. And it's really sad because I grew up with an absent father, and he wasn't really around and didn't pay my mom child support, pretty much didn't do anything, for my mom. And when she met my stepdad, she met someone who took over the role of, dad, stepdad, everything, because I didn't have that male figure in my life to be consistent and to be supportive. So, I know what it's like to not have a guy, a father in the picture, consistently until my mom met my stepdad. My mom was very independent, worked hard, and could have taken my dad in jail, could have, said, hey, you're going to sit in a cell because you're not paying me. But instead, she said, I don't want your money. I'm going to work hard, and I'm going to raise my daughter, and whatever she thinks of you in the future is going to be based on what you do now as a father. And she's right. She didn't have to bash my father. She didn't have to say anything about him. I learned it for myself. I saw what kind of man he was. He was a great friend, a great brother, a great, partier. If you want to hang out with him and have a good time. He's not a good husband, and he wasn't a good father, and that's a shame. But I guess not everybody has that in them to have those qualities, and to, not everyone's meant to be a father. Not everyone's meant to be a husband. Not everyone's meant to be a mom. Not everyone's meant to be a wife. It's I guess that's just the way it is. But, I just think that we're in a society today where everyone gets so offended about everything. And if you don't agree with what they have to say, they just bash you. And that's not okay. You should be able to have your own opinion. You should be able to speak freely, but respectfully. And someone say, I don't agree with you, but I respect your opinion, and, we can agree to disagree. It's just like politics. I mean, I could sit here all day and talk about what I think about our president and what I think about, our old president, and what I think about this and what I think about that. But I just don't care, because it's kind of pointless to talk about. It doesn't really get you anywhere. And everyone's going to have their opinion of Obama. Everyone's going to have their opinion of Trump. Everyone's going to have their opinion of Hillary. Everyone's going to have their opinion of Bush. I mean, it doesn't matter. You're never going to agree. Like, it's just not going to, be one happy medium situation, but you should be respectful of others' opinions. I feel that I'm respectful towards anyone's opinions as long as they're not degrading and they don't hurt myself or my family or my loved ones. When it starts to affect people that I care about, and it's hurtful and distasteful, then that's when I have a problem. But word to the wise, moms, do not judge other moms and put other moms down and act like you're too good, because that's not a good look. That's not what you're supposed to do. Don't look at that mother that stays at home with her kids like she doesn't do enough because she's not out working 60 hours a week. Being a stay-at-home mom is a never-ending job. You don't get paid enough, and it is a full-time, 24-hour, 7-day-a-week, 365-day-a-year job. To the mom who works 60 hours and comes home and takes care of her family, you're amazing too. And you know what? I've been there, done that. I've done all the positions, and to be honest with you, I mean, I don't think there's anything more rewarding than being with your kids and spending time with them and seeing all those important activities, and seeing all those, things that they go through in life, the different grades, the different, activities, the different stages in life, the different seasons of life. But that's all I got to talk about tonight. I think I kind of touched a lot of different subjects, and I kind of just talked a lot about, just difference of opinions, and I hope that anyone that's listening can relate to that, and that can make you feel a little bit better knowing that you're not the only person that feels that way. But I hope everyone has a awesome weekend, and stay tuned. I will talk to you next week. Thanks.
This has been a production of the Big Vito brand. Check us out at thebigvitobrand.com.